So there's something that just during my time here at Biola, I've just noticed so much pain and so much hurt that is going on, and it's also really interesting because I've been wanting to speak on something like this for 2 years now. My sophomore year, I remember just walking around campus praying, Lord, just break down the walls, God, let things start to happen. But I didn't have the opportunity to speak until now. And it was very much God letting me know, okay, there's other things going on campus that need to happen first before you can speak. And I feel like with the more things that are happening, recent death of one of our students here, and just other things that are happening in the articles that are popping up recently talking about the Biola mask, and different things that are happening, and seeing kind of like this desire for vulnerability among students, and kind of the big wave of Biola confessions and how much it's become so popular, and being able to see like students' hearts on there for the ones that are hurting and are broken. It's very much me understanding that this is definitely God's timing. So some of the most helpful things that people have told me is straight up telling me, like, I don't know what to say. Like, I love you, Lydia, but I don't know what to do. Some of the most hurtful things have been people assuming that they know what to say, and so they say things, and it's just like, no, that's not helpful right now. Another thing is people just remaining completely quiet. And it's very much, we all deal with suffering differently, and so the absolute best thing you can possibly do when someone is going through something difficult is straight up say to them, hey, I love you, I care about you, I don't know what you're going through right now, but I want to walk with you, and I want to be with you, and will you let me know what you need? And that can be anything, depending. God's given us all different giftings, and your particular gifting might be acts of service, and so you might be the one who can drive them to the hospital when they need it. It might be listening, and so whenever they just want to vent, you can go ahead and these are the friends that you could vent to. So recognizing your own giftings and just letting them know, I'm going to use my giftings in order to help you, and also just being aware. If they tell you, hey, I'm dealing with a bereavement, like someone just died in my family, go on the internet, look it up. Look up. There's so much information, and there's so many really great websites about the prevalence of these things that are going on, and also telling you how to be there for these people in these situations. So many times we could just get so scared, so choked up, we kind of forget that, yeah, there's a lot of information out there that can help us, or we forget that, oh, we're actually these person's friends, and we can still talk to them and still communicate with them instead of just kind of like freezing and then just walking away. One of the things that I've really noticed is that when messy things start to bubble up, Biola is really, really quick about trying to cover it. What's really interesting about the chapel that I was talking about earlier, when I was at missions conference earlier, and there was a lot of people confessing and a lot of pain and everything, instead of trying to create a way where the conversation can keep going, to create a way where these students have somewhere to go afterwards and take care of that, Biola kind of shifted gears and has started kind of putting it on the planners of missions conference, their mind, to make it more structured, so it's interesting, this last missions conference there wasn't a time of confession, and there's actually an article about why that was, but the gist of it is there needs to be more order. But what ends up happening is that, okay, we have more order, but we're not taking care of the issues that are here. I've also had pushback speaking at larger chapel because of the fact that Biola doesn't feel as though it has the resources to handle the pain that might come up when students hear my story. And so instead of thinking, okay, well, what can we do to take care of that when it happens, it's more like, let's not handle it, let's not do it. So there's very much this thing at Biola where if there's pain, there's frustration, we want to cover it up. We want to cover it. We don't want to address it because that's too messy, too sticky, but cover it up. And that's something that's been very, very damaging to students here at Biola. I know a number of students that have left Biola because of that. And I myself there have been times where I just wanted to leave because it's like nothing is being dealt with, And I feel as though I am more, it's really sad to say, but I feel as though I have more comfort and more love when I reach out to people outside of Biola, outside of the Christian community, because this is an issue that happens in churches everywhere, all across America. But it's really sad because we're divided from one another. So I have to say that Biola really does kind of add to the pain in that respect. Something that Biola has done well is recently there's been more of a movement towards bringing awareness of certain struggles and certain pains that are going on. And with the Biola Counseling Center offers different people, if you want to go ahead and put on a certain program that has one of their people come out and talk about it. So if you want to get more information about mental illness, they can have somebody come to your classroom and speak. So there's that, and there has been, there's been more of a movement towards, okay, there's some things that we realize that we need to start talking to. So at Biola, the types of resources that we have are the Biola Counseling Center, and which Biola Counseling Center, I think, ends up serving about 500 staff and faculty at any one time, and then also serves 300 people within the community. So there are a lot of people who do utilize the Biola Counseling Center, and it's really great because Biola Counseling Center has started to make little groups on campus for students. So I'm about to start going to a women's group that they've developed, which is really great. But it's this weird kind of thing where even just physically, location-wise, Biola Counseling Center is away from Biola, which kind of just really shows this. It's weird. In people's minds, they think mental health is separate from the rest of everything going on. And so there's very much a disconnect where a lot of students do not feel as they can that they can go to the Biola Counseling Center for things, and there's also some students who they have a lot of really deep issues and deep pains that they don't know how to, they feel aren't being addressed by Biola Counseling Center when they go. So it's this weird dynamic. I've never been utilized their one-on-one therapy myself, so I can't necessarily speak to that. But Biola also has the Learning Center, which helps students who have any mental or psychological or physical illnesses that is affecting the way that they are doing school. And so the Learning Center can go ahead and contact professors and help work that out. So there's that as well. But as far as campus-wide things, there's not much going on. And so that's why with Biola Broken, this little organization, this ministry I want to start, we'll be able to start addressing that and kind of come at it from a macro level where I want to be able to get students to come together.
So I want you to go ahead and look to the right and the left.
Discussion of the things that we talked about tonight. And so maybe one time session might be talking about sexuality, another session might be talking about depression, another session drugs and addiction. And during these little sessions that we have, I will go ahead and talk about my own take on the issue, and then also try to get other students who are dealing with that to come talk about what's going on. But mainly sort of give it this is Biola. Biola, this is what we're dealing with. Because so many times when we do have chapels on these things, like I was saying earlier, we have a lot of people from the world of academia coming to speak on these things, and it's very much, okay, they're outside of us, it's not what's happening in here. But I really want to show students, no. There's actually a lot of issues within the walls, within our student body, and we're actually all going through a lot of really difficult things. And so that's what I want Biola Broken to be, kind of like a talk show type thing where we can just sit and just be really raw, really real with one another about what's happening.